So the first thing I asked the deck, and the deck is infused with universal consciousness, just as every mode of being is, and my intention as I interact with it. And your needs also do stuff according to what is needed. So bottom of the deck right now is the Magician as I'm talking. The first card I pulled when I asked, who am I doing this reading for, is the High Priestess. And then the next card is the Magician. So we have a really powerfully archetypal reading about the yin and yang energy of the universe. First two cards in the major arcana after the 0 card, the Tao, are the yin and the yang. This reading is for the High Priestess. The Magician is presiding also, and then we have the Shaman of Cups, or the King of Cups. So this is all very interesting. Also, as I was speaking, it's the 7 of Swords. So we have these 4 cards to start with. Yeah, this tells me, I mean, I have watched many readings on YouTube over the last year. I had never really done that before. I've done tarot readings for myself for many years, but I've watched some specifically for the astrological signs, which are really beautiful and insightful. And then I was thinking maybe I'd do that today. But I've also watched a lot of twin flame readings. And although I am freeing myself from that concept and that paradigm, because it's a lot healthier for me to be free of any concept and then let things flow back in when they want to, but I don't want to hold on to anything. Anyways, but it calls to mind the twin flame stuff, because that is so much about that healthy merging of the inner masculine and feminine in each of us, and how that is mirrored in our relationships in the outside world. So yeah, we have these archetypes, and then we have something hidden, someone trying to get away with something. Or my feeling when I first saw this was I was like, oh, you know, maybe there's something hidden from people, because as I was speaking when I saw it, it was about you and who I'm speaking to. There's something hidden from you that I can perhaps help to reveal. Or there's something that we can make away with here. That's kind of a mischievous side to the fox and the 7 of Swords. The 7 of Swords in general, it can be interpreted as sneaky. It can be interpreted as, you know, like taking the goods and running from a situation that like you want to get as much as you can out of it. And I've been working with the energies of the cups, the emotional water energy of the masculine archetype, the masculine aspect. Okay, so I'm just gonna, there's been a sense of stickiness around this card for me. We're letting that go now. This 5 of discs reversed. So yeah, we're entering into a more, okay, so I was speaking about, I already spoke about the release of the twin flame concept. I can see that this is going to be a reading about that, because I'm still steeped in the journey and in the ideas and in the relationship that sparked that for me, and I'm sure many of you are also, so I'm going to go with that. But I'm also going to speak to anybody who resonates with the High Priestess, the Yin, the dreaming, receptive, feminine aspect of magic. Okay, and then, but we also have the active principle here, so we really have a union of complementary opposites, like deeply complementary. The seeds of all things are yin and yang, these first two cards that create the fountain of all of these various manifestations in their interactions and their interweaving. So yeah, to me, the King of Cups or the Shaman of Cups has been a sticky, difficult energy lately, because emotion and the clinging of that archetype, but I can feel it sort of draining away, which is amazing. I've also been dealing in my own journey with a lot of issues around, and a lot of us do, is spiritual versus unspiritual twin, the more enlightened versus the less enlightened. That's gotta go. If you think that you know more than someone else about the nature of existence and you need to enlighten them, you're lost. You're lost. And it's okay. So I have this and this. This is the Hierophant, the 5 of discs reversed. So 5 discs reversed is a reconciliation, is letting go of the sense of loss and regret around this emotional, benevolent feeling father figure that we want to see. And then we have the Empress here too, connected with these cards. So, okay, I'm going to explain my previous statement, because if you think that okay, we know that and I'm not trying to convince you of anything either, or maybe I am and I just admit that. And everything I'm giving to you, I only give because for your own benefit, okay? So, if everything is connected and everything is one, and you know that this person is aware on a deep level of cosmic truths, if you know that if you think that everything is you and everything is one, why do you think that you need to convince aspects of yourself that they're part of you? Is that not a function of the illusion of separation? That's a little snippet of my point. And the trying to convince can alienate people, because truth is self-evident and it can be so simple. Got the Priestess of Discs reversed. Once we realize this stuff, the need for the other, this one, as well as the Queen of Wands, the Priestess, the Queen of Pentacles reversed, I have read on some tarot forums, can mean the other woman, quote unquote. What is interesting, what my mind's doing, because other woman, it means that we no longer have a need for the other, the concept of other. If we can get over, let go of the idea that this guy is anything other than what we actually are and they are, and we all can be, without the stickiness and because there's something cloying about, it's like he's making a love potion. Who wants to love someone that's trying to cajole them into loving them? This is boundary crossing energy, Pisces energy. So we have a Pisces archetype here. We have spirituality, on the one hand mysticism, genuine mysticism, and on the other hand the urge to cross people's boundaries, not respect what they say, and not listen to their stated needs and their version of reality, which is an aspect of the total reality. It's a sacred aspect of everything. You can't say my reality is more real than yours, so I'm going to keep battering your door down with my spiritual truth. Hierophant, under the Shaman of Cups. And with the Empress here. So we have this need for genuine groundedness in unconditional love, groundedness in actual unconditional love, which means healthy boundaries, which means respect, which means being able to be victorious and revel in our victory without feeling like we've stolen something or made off with something and feel guilty about it. We want to feel clean about this. So respecting boundaries, 7 of Wands, 7 of Swords. Here, because here we have these 7 women here saying, no, you can't come in. We have this fox trying to get away with something. Why are you trying to get away with something? Why? Where's there to go with it? Okay, that's just, yeah. These chickens aren't going to be taken by this fox right now. This boundary is going to hold. No matter how subversive and sneaky you try to be about getting your point across, the other in your situation sees right through that. On an intuitive level, on a psychic level, the law of attraction, it all sees right through it. The 4 of Swords reversed. It's not a time to sit in meditation right now, necessarily. It can be, but also it can be. It's not a time for, it's a time for action in a grounded way, which acknowledges that there must be an inversion of the pyramid and the power structure. If you think that you can dwell at the top of the pyramid and that makes you the most special, then you're ignoring all the people and all the things, not ignoring, but if you think you're better than all the things that make up the base of the pyramid that you've climbed to the top of, you're going to find out you're going to go back down to the bottom and find out what it's like to be at the bottom of that hierarchy over and over and over again until you dispense with the idea of a spiritual hierarchy. Nobody's more special than anybody else. Nobody is more special. Nobody's reality is more valid. Everybody's figuring things out in their own time, in their own way, and it's all sacred. Everything matters, nothing's important. If you're going to be of service to the world, know the world that you're serving, respect it. You can't sacrifice yourself and be of service to the world without healthy boundaries, without taking care of yourself. But you can't be of service to the world if you think that you're better than everybody. You have to listen to them and their needs. You have to actually think about what they want and what they need. And if there's resistance to that, they're going to have resistance to you. You better believe it. If they set a boundary and you say, no, I'm more important. I understand feeling like their boundary setting is hurting you. But when someone else is this is an extremely important lesson to learn. This has been a theme of my life lately. Someone else is setting a boundary, it's not about you. When they say, hey, you crossed my boundary and I'm mad at you, they have every right to express that rage. And you have to say, I'm sorry. I can see that I've hurt you, but it takes understanding that. That's the only way to heal and move forward. in these situations. Otherwise it's a standstill. Nobody feels understood. And then you go home and you're like, oh, but it's my twin and I love them so much, but I don't like this part. You know, you're compartmentalizing. Do you actually respect them as an individual being and want to like have a relationship of, then you have to respect what they say. You can't think that you know better than them. I love this. I'll just show you for a minute. I love the mirroring of the Six of Wands here and the Son of Wands here. They're both in this celebratory mind frame because they've let go of that illusion, so they're feeling like they can celebrate. I mean, there's the shadow side of everything. So it's really, to me, speaking about getting rid of that sense of bravado and like flashiness and needing to prove yourself, and actually just enjoying yourself and providing like an exciting show for people that you love because you want them to be happy. It's not about your glory or your victory. You know, the Six of Wands card in the Rider-Waite is similar to this one in a way, but it's you know, it's him on the horse and all the people are like, oh yeah, good for you, and it's like, yeah, good for him, but like, is he deeply connected with the community, or is he just soaking up their admiration and he's gonna go home lonely? You know, she's connected from a sense of inner power. She's radiating. She doesn't need anything other than herself. She even has 4 arms, you know. And then this guy, he's kind of calling back to that with this stuff, like the skin, the legs of the skin on his back radiating out. It's like this other aspect of him that he's able to play with and show, but it's in a spirit of play, and it's in a spirit, a lighthearted spirit, but it also is drawing from that core of power. And they're all enjoying it, and the family's like, yay, this is awesome. We're all part of the same tribe here. Same family. And then up here, we have the Ten of Pentacles, which is that family life blossoming into solid community support for the birth of a new thing, birth of a new baby in this card. You have all of the structure and all of the love around you radiating the earthly power for the birth of the new, which is a very beautiful and undeniably sacred and universal human experience, being born. That's something that we all went through. And it's interesting because that is mirrored here by the Hermit reversed, or the Crone reversed at the crossroads. I feel like there's still definitely some confusion about how we're going to actually build this final vision, and also a warning against over focus on that future and that building and that, okay, what's going to come of it? And we're always asking, okay, but in the end, am I going to XYZ, be with this person, get this thing? In the end, what will happen? And by focusing on that end to the exclusion of other things, we lose the present moment. Wheel of Fortune reversed. We're sort of turning the wheel all the way around to see what will happen. The Wheel of Fortune reversed puts Libra on the ascendant in this card. It's kind of cool. It's got all the astrology signs on it. And it showed up reversed at the top of this pyramid. Kind of pouring its universal astral energies down. We also have the Two of Wands at the top of the deck, which is like someone imagining someone into being, someone imagining something into being, creating a fire, creating a new fire, creating a new timeline, and doing away with old ideas about how it's going to be and how it's supposed to be. So right in the middle here, focus card between the Magician and the High Priestess. the Nine of Wands. None of them are wearing their clothes. They're all around this communal water, this Nine of Cups. I say Wands, Nine of Cups. This communal, emotional thing. And they're like, they've been swimming. They're going to go swimming. Right underneath here we have that Shaman of Cups, that watery, ooh, we're not sure about our boundaries. These people know that their boundaries are going to be respected, and they're able to take off all their clothes and see that they all have something in common. They all have lots of things in common, and they're all just like beautiful children of the earth that can play and dive, and there's this beautiful waterfall, and the goddess is presiding over it. They've all acknowledged their own goddess nature and their own connection, and they have a shrine and a place that they can dip in those sacred waters and drink from them and gather in their cups. So they're using boundaries in a healthy way. They're using the vessel of the physical to contain that emotion, and so it's more balanced. I'm getting an energy where it's like we don't need to contain them. Sometimes emotions are going to spill out and they're going to ravage things, and the sea will flood, and and sometimes that's needed to wash things away, and I can feel that energy coming up too right now. We have a Five of Cups reversed right next to the Five of Discs reversed. So there's a spilling, and there's a letting go of the need to catch things that are spilling. The water can go and run away into the earth if it needs to. Why do we need to control? And we don't need to regret either. We can apologize if we know that we've hurt someone's feelings. That's really important. But once we've done that, we don't need to hold on to it anymore. And we can feel better. It's amazing the magic that a genuine apology and a genuine respect and acknowledgement of boundaries can do. So, yeah. Being willing to ground into the 3D, the world as it really is important. I'm trying to get some messages to come through, and my head's starting to hurt, so I'm going to stop. The only thing I had was something basic. I think keep it basic. Keep it super real right now, okay? Because this reality is a miracle. This is the spirit. You don't need to make things up for the magic to be a real thing. You don't need to dress it up in order for things to be amazing and beautiful. Okay, so yeah, one practice I've been doing is throwing everything out of my circle, throwing everything, twin flame concept, like I said, everything, attachment to the future, all of it, really, like, I don't need any of that. And it takes time to get there, because it's like, oh no, but there's an addiction to it, to concepts, to all these concepts, and they can carry us a long way, but they can't carry us the whole way. And letting go of them is a Pisces season thing. So I'm sending you so much love and blessings, and thank you so much for joining me for this reading. I do astrology readings, and I'll also do personal tarot readings for you if you want, because this is reflecting more my personal situation as I've been speaking, but I hope it helps somebody, and it's reflecting everything that anyone needs to hear, or whatever. Never done this before. Reading for lots of people at a time. So yeah, if you want an astrology reading with me, that's a whole other ball game, but I look at the realistic energies of you and whoever else you might want to bring into the space of the reading, and if you have their birthday. But even if you don't, we can use the cards and start this chat, and also we can see the reflection of the people in your life from your own natal chart too, and the transits and progressions that are happening for you, and talk about all that. So thanks so much for joining me, Sending you lots of love and blessings. Okay.